Hey there, day 83 of the camper pod build. Show you what I'm going to be doing today. We did a lot of the electrical stuff, ran the wires last day. And today what I'm going to be working on is the cladding for inside of here. Do some wrapping in around here. I don't think I'm going to install it yet because I still have to install my, let's say, my fuse box and my switch plates and all that sort of stuff. But I want to, my mind is in the cladding mode now, so I want to get that done as well as these sides and that sort of thing. Get that out of the way. I don't have to install them yet, but at least I have them done. So when I get the wiring done, it's just let's pop it in and they're in there and we're ready to move on. Don't you hate it when things don't work out mathematically? I was hoping to be able to get in the closet, you know, one side and the back and the little tab done at a one width of this, because that's 36 inches wide. However, it's like 37 3/4 inches, like just like too short. So I'm going to have to do it in 3 separate pieces. I'm going to do the 2 side pieces, which will be pretty much exactly the same, and do a separate back piece. But anyway, so there you have it. Yeah, sometimes calculations work, sometimes they don't. Let's see if this piece fits. That's a pretty good fit, I think. Now I just got to bend this top over backwards and bend that piece there inwards. Now that's a really nice fit. Well, this is the second piece going down there. You can see why this takes a bit of time, because I gotta cut it, bend it, like notch it, and then do another subsequent bend. And this piece doesn't fit too bad either. We're getting a little tight on aluminum. Next piece is going to be going from here down to that level right there. I've got it laid out here. I just got to trim it along there, and that'll give me the width, including the bends that I need to do the wrapping around. Yeah, if I flap any faster, I'll probably take off. Getting better at this aluminum stuff the closer I get to finishing. And now we're going to be attempting electrical. I was sizing this place up again, and what I'm going to do is that we're actually going to be installing one AC plug in here. So in order to help with that and help with wire placement, because I did pick up some bell wire staples, I'm going to actually board over all of this in here. Yeah, so I'm gonna put away my aluminum cutting stuff, take out my wood cutting stuff, and start cutting a bit of wood. I'm starting to fit all these pieces in here now to make a nice solid wall for the electrical. I'm actually putting a DC outlet up in the top section right next to the fuse box. And I actually had to bring it out from the wall a little bit because there wasn't enough room for the terminals and the wire, and then the thread on the back of it wasn't long enough, so I had to do a little bit of an inset there, but it all fits. As I'm going along, I'm tying in the DC terminals, or the DC outlets. You may remember we got these from a company called Nilight. They actually come with the spade terminals that are needed, which is great because I don't have to dip into my own. I didn't show a step-by-step going through here, but well, you can see what I did. All the wires that are going to go into the panel, I drilled holes and had them come out here. I managed to route all the wires for the lights down through the top of where the switch panel is going to go, and the switch panel fits in there, so they're all going to be tucked out of the way. So I'm just doing a bit of cleanup now because there's mess all over the place, trying to tidy the place up a little bit. Then I'm going to pop the panel or the fuse box in place and wire that in so I can tidy up all of those wires right there. With the wires in place, now it's time to install the fuse box. We got this from folks called Nilight, as well as most of the other DC electrics that are in the camper. I'll just put the link below. This is what we've got here. We got a 12-way fuse box. The main power lead, the negative goes on top, positive goes on the bottom. Any positive leads go on the top that go out to a circuit, and the negatives up here. We also included a full bag of fuses, 5s, 10s, 15s, and 20s, 2 bolts, and a bunch of pre-labeled stickers. I don't think any of these. Air horn. Maybe I'll install an air horn. Or a bilge pump. Yeah, I'll install a bilge pump in the camper pod. Not sure if I'll be using those. I might be making some more. I also got this neat little cover that goes over to protect everything. Snaps in place, and when you want to open it up again, you press where my 2 fingers are right there. You press in there, and that just pops right off like that. I'm going to be screwing this I have some number 1 inch by number 6 flathead screws. I'll be popping into the corners to hold it in place, and I just test fit one connector here. So basically you just back out the screw. This is a ring connector. Put it underneath, screw it back down, and it's in place. Now to wire this up. Not a heck of a lot of room in here to work on this. I mean, like a 20 inch by 20 inch closet. Kind of tight. Got 1 circuit hooked up already. Now I'm working on the second. How do you attach a copper 8-gauge wire terminal to 8-gauge wire without the proper crimper? Well, you try using your pair of pliers first, realize that you don't have the hand strength. Then you get crooked, try to figure out something else. Then you go ask your wife, does she have any ideas? And she says, do you have any bolt cutters? And I said, sure do. And so anyway, it was a 2-person job. I held the wire in the terminal. She used the bolt cutters to just squeeze it gently together in a couple of spots. And it's held in there quite well. So that's a little hack that I use today. Thanks to my wife. Now that we have the fuse panel installed, including labels that my wife did up, it's time to install something else from Nilight. And it's in this box right here. It's a 6-gang rocker panel switch plate. See? They also got, there's like 6 little fuses or reset buttons. There's a 12-volt accessory port there, USB, and in addition to a voltage indicator. Also came in the box is a rubber seal that will go behind the switch plate. An advertisement from Nilight showing some of the stuff that they have. They have a lot of neat and cool stuff. Oh, I'll put the link to this down below. They've also got like some sort of instructions. These look to be clear labels that go over the lit ends or the lights on the rocker panels. We have 2 types of screws. We have these and we have these. Lots of screws. And I think these are some more labels to go over those rockers right there. There appears to be 2 ways we can run this panel. Wiring method A, the lower light will turn on when the key is turned on. So basically, when power goes to this, all those rockers will light up. Don't really want that. So I think I'm going with wiring method B, constant power source or battery. The lower light will turn on only when the switch is turned on to the on position, so that when the rocker is turned on, sending power to the DC appliance, this will light up. That's more preferable, because if we just turn on the power and they all light up, that's going to be draining power from our S2000 battery source, which is, we don't want that happening. Because the feed for this is where, okay, there's the negative and the positive. So what'll happen is that, say, the light in the kitchen, the red wire will come in and attach to here. The black wire going to have to go to this little thing, a bus bar. Because there's no grounding on this particular unit. So this wire here on the switches will go up to the bus bar, and then the feed coming from the panel will go into this bus bar, and it'll all be grounded back to the fuse box. GoPro, turn off. Yep, that's the wiring. Pretty much complete. The DC portion pretty much complete. Now I'm going to try to tighten up that red wire a little bit when I pull these wires back down through and out to the front. But other than that, this is what it looks like. I think it looks pretty good. And on this side, we've got the Nilight 6 rocker panel switch plate thingy mounted with the rubber gasket in behind it. It looks pretty, that looks tidy. And this looks relatively tidy as well. This upper portion of the closet is going to be mostly workings like this. So it's not going to be completely finished with aluminum, but we're going to tidy it up later, but that's for a later date. And the last piece of DC equipment that we're installing from Nilight is this dual DC outlet. We've got USB charging, which is always handy, and we've got 12-volt DC power. I've already got the hole made for this up near the edge of the countertop. You need a dual hole, which I've already got made. These tighten down to make everything snug up. You can see they can spin. That's cool. Also, with that, some instructions. Take a look at those in a second. You got 4 screws for the plate here. We have a black connector, a red connector, a couple of female spade connectors, and okay. And this is the instructions. So basically, I hook this up to the positive, this up to the negative on this here, and then hook these ends up to the power coming in. Pretty straightforward. I'm temporarily putting this in place. There will be a piece of foam light going on the outside here. It'll be about another 1/4 of an inch. So I'll just leave a little bit of extra slack on the wires, these wires here, that'll connect to that. But I'm just temporarily just putting it in place so I can go test the DC a little bit later. Okay, those are lined up there. Just going to pop the screws in on the plate up right here and then wire it up. Well, folks, that's a wrap. Day 83 of the camper pod build. Just a quick recap. I completed, bent that piece there, which goes in right there. I did that piece, and I did this piece of aluminum here. Then I spent a huge chunk of time doing the DC portion of the electrical, including this cool switch plate from Nilight. Sort of tied in that AC plug, tied in the last DC and AC, pop the plug on the end of the feed for the kitchen, and that's it. So next I'll pop a couple of plugs on those AC outlets, test them, and I also have a 12-volt power source that I'll use to test the DC portion of the system. Everything should work. I've done my homework, checked it twice, but you always have to test it before you button everything up. Anyway, folks, that's it for day 83 of the camper pod build. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.